and welcome to part 6 of Code with Me, or Code with Belbet. Still haven't quite decided on that name yet. Once again, I am working on Rising Phoenix, or Phoenix Rising. I can never remember which way that goes. It should literally say it somewhere in here. It doesn't. Anyway, oh wait, it does. Yeah, Phoenix Rising. Okay, so you'll notice first things first, I actually did change the author a little bit. It has my name here, but it also has DBA Nascent Soul Studios, which is the game studio that I have been trying to get up and running for 5 years now? Babe, 5 years? I don't know, he might be asleep. Anyway, that I'm hoping that by putting that there, I'll be able to eventually make Nascent Soul Studios an LLC, or maybe incorporate it later on. That's a whole finance issue, though. Like, that's company design 101 and all that shit. That said, that is there until I either find out that you can't do that in order, or when you publish with Choice of Games, or something else. I'm not 100% sure. That said, interesting tidbit I learned today. The Choice of Games company has actually changed their contracts for authors for these games now. They've actually changed it so that it is more... What is going on with my mouse? Can't see my mouse. There we go. So that it is more... How do I put this? Lucrative to be one of the authors. Nope, that's not it. Nope, that's not it. Where'd it go? Oh, yeah, the advances specifically. They've updated it, and now it's 25% royalties against a $10,000 advance, or 10% royalties against a $15,000 advance. And honestly, either one of those is a pretty great little income booster. But again, in order to qualify, you actually have to write a choice of game, which means you have to apply to write for the choice of games. And that's actually a really in-depth process. They're looking for experienced writers. And basically, they'll have short stories. Like, I'm reading directly from their looking for writers page on their website right now. And they're looking for an applicant with short stories in publication, a published novel, or an academic thesis. They're looking for experience writing tabletop RPGs, narrative games, but not fiction as such. But if you don't have experience with like writing fiction, they'll be glad to consider those as well. Game designers with little experience writing narrative or additional experience writing fiction are not a good fit for what they do, but they encourage those applicants to try our hosted games label. Basically, they require that your games be egalitarian and inclusive. They encourage applicants from writers who are women and other marginalized genders, LGBTQ, disabled, and persons of color. And they have a very specific recognizable style, and so they require that we follow specific style guidelines. Because right now I'm trying for their hosted games, not their choice of games. I am not holding to that style guide as strictly. But eventually my plan is to hopefully publish with their choice of games style. Or not style, label. The hosted games label is a lot less in depth. Basically, you have to independently write and complete a game in Choicescript, which is what we're doing over here. You have to complete a public beta test for the game on their forums so that they have records of it. It has to be a full, entire, complete game, not just a demo. And then you submit the game with a submission form. And you have to provide things like icons, cover arts, so on and so forth. They'll review it for content, and then once that review is complete, they send you the contract. Now, I've done some research and spoken with a couple of authors on the forums, and one of the authors actually sent me a little bit of information about how much they've made each month over the last couple of years for one of their games, and they averaged anywhere from $0 to $200 a month off of sales for their game. And it was a choice, or not a choice of games, but a hosted game. So that gives me a little bit of motivation, I guess, for trying to get this finished. But it's not just about the monetary, of course, although everybody wants monetary compensation for something that they spend so much time on. Because I've already put, I want to say 6 months worth of work into this game, and I'm only one chapter in. Can you imagine how much, there are some people who've been working on a game for 5, 6, 10 years, and they're still trying to get it to a point where they want to publish it. And there are some people who give up halfway through writing their game, and I don't particularly want to be like that. I do want to not just complete the game, but I want to make this like a viable career option. And what brought this up is I was one of the authors on the forum. She recently published an expanded what is the term? An expanded epilogue for one of her games, and so all of her games went on sale. And I was reading, and she's got 4 full games out already, and she does this full time. So, like, I hesitate to say I want to be like her, but I fucking do. She's amazing. If you've never read any of her games, she writes Creme de la Creme, Royal Affairs, and Noblesse Oblige, also pronounced Noblesse Oblige. And they're really good games. They're in-depth. The characters are just fantastic. And they are interactive fiction. Like, you go in and you are a person and you make choices, and those choices matter. And so that's kind of where I'm getting a lot of my inspiration for Phoenix Rising. I want to be like her. I want to be her when I grow up. That said, today I am working on the next section of the Daydream section, which is the being a concubine daydream. And right now we're working on the filling in the framework for what type of concubine each character would like to be, and whether they want His Majesty's attention. And I say His Majesty, but you can actually select the gender of the Emperor, and all of the other romantic interests. You can choose between male, female, and non-binary. But I'm not going to go into the framework or coding of that right now. I actually found that framework for the for choosing the gender of the romantic interests. I found that framework on the Choice of forums. So if you're enterprising and you want to get started on a game, code dive and get and search the forums. If you can think of it, somebody may have already written the code for it, and then you can just crib that and then adapt it to what you actually need. That's, from what I can tell anyway, 90% of coding anyway. Okay, so let's go ahead, and right now I was on this scene here, You've heard rumors of His Majesty, and all of them seem to point to someone unfathomable and serious. One rumor you'd heard is that is said that His Majesty had after a party, so on and so forth. Minister resigned and took up a post as a Buddhist monk. And then we're gonna have this check one of the skills, and I think we're gonna go with I think bloodthirsty versus honorable, because I haven't checked that skill very much recently, so just bloodthirst equal than or greater to low, I think. Okay, so one thing that I set up early, because I again found this on the forums, is low, medium, high, awful, bad, decent, good, great, and perfect. And I set these up so that I can make checks like this easier to adjust later on down the road in order to make sure that the stats are balancing correctly. So if I set everything as low or medium or high for the checks, then this is what it has to be higher than or lower than in order to pass that check. And so then instead of going through and every single bloodthirst check moving them up to like medium instead of low, I can just come in here and I can adjust what medium and low are. And then same with awful, bad, decent, good, great, perfect. These are skills. So like if you're awful at something, and then you have to, if you can be awful at something and still pass, you just have to have higher than 25. If you can be bad at something and still pass, you have to be higher than 35, so on and so forth. And these are specifically, and I'm gonna actually note this down here, for skill checks. Comment for stat checks and skill stat additions, subtractions. Okay, and so that's where the difference between these two groups lie. This is to check if they have the skill needed to pass a thing. This is to add or subtract from that stat. And again, note, I cannot stress enough how badly you need to make comments, especially when you're as new to coding like this as me. You talk yourself through it in the code, because you will come back to this a week later and you will not have any idea what any of this means if you do not. Okay, so if bloodthirst is greater than or equal to low, so basically if you have high bloodthirst, we're gonna want to can't help but respect someone who uses such brutal methods to ensure loyalty versus it seems petty to use such childish methods to scare loyalty out of your retainers. You wonder sometimes what, and then instead of trying to just type it out, I'm just going to copy and paste this right here. So what this does is this actually draws the title text for Chengling, which is the emperor or empress or ruler, depending on what gender they have. And the title text takes this, whatever this is, and turns it into an actual title. Like in this case, this particular version of it puts His Majesty, Her Majesty, or Their Majesty there. Just thinking while packing that box. Okay. So that just gives a little tidbit as to like what Chengling's personality is like and what the people around him are saying about his personality. Oh shit, I forgot to start my little timer here. So the way I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to be working for about an hour, but I'm going to be doing a Pomodoro method, which is 25 minutes of straight work, 5 minutes of break, and then another 25 minutes of work, and so on and so forth. I'm still going to be doing this. This video is going to be an hour long, just like every other video in this series so far has been. But the general gist of this is to give my brain a 5-minute break in the middle to kind of figure out what I'm doing and maybe get a soda if I need. I very much recommend the Pomodoro method for anyone who's neurodivergent, or even if you're not neurodivergent, just because it provides that stability of structure while also making sure you're taking proper breaks. For those of us with ADHD, it's really easy to get sucked into something and forget that, you know, the bathroom exists. Okay, so I'm going to be starting a 25-minute Pomodoro. And we might hear the ticking, I don't know. But that said, at this point, we've got a so we've got these little sections here that check whether or not the character is one of the sexualities that enjoys mentions of, you know, sexual shit, or if not. And so what we're going to do is we're going to lead into that here with an opening sentence. Okay, and so this section is legitimately the player wants the Emperor's eyes only on them. So, holding that great attention. Then here we're not going to remove the comment because I don't remove any of my comments. I picked good music this time. And then we gotta figure out what gender the character is. And again, this is why I have notes on my other screen. What are the genders here? Male, female, non-binary. Okay. If you see gender, one is male. Wait, hold on. Okay, so when you're doing these guys, you have to, there's a special way to do it for multi-replace. So, and let me, over here, let me pull up the test playground to show you. Ignore all that code, it doesn't matter. So, this is how you do the multi-replace per the choicescriptdev.fandom.com/wiki. So if it's a Boolean, which is like yes or no, true or false, does it exist or doesn't it, then you do this. Numeric examples, if you just do the variable like I'm doing here, it starts with 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and so on and so forth for as many of these as you have in the startup file. If you're doing a numeric example but you need to start at 0, you have to put a +1 here, and I don't know why that is. I will never understand why this is a +1 instead of this one. It doesn't make logical sense to me, but that's how it is. So just think of it as backwards. But anyway, so since we're starting at 1, we can use just the variable instead of the +1. But that's why I always check that, because otherwise I'm going to get so confused. Okay, so I need... What's sexy on a masculine guy? Or on a masculine person? I was planning on just having something small here, but I may not... Commanding it with your... What do I want to put here? God damn it. This is the problem with writing sexy stuff when you're asexual. Okay. What's sexy on a masculine person? Here we go. Yeah, and research is always needed. Okay, so... Charm... Burp. Machismo. There we go. That's a good word for it. And then for non-binary people, beauty should work. That should work, I think. Yeah. Okay. Actually, I don't think we need to put spaces. There we go. And here, I think we need to figure out we'll go with... Oh, wait, shit, I'm on the wrong one. Start up, here we go. Okay. Back to these guys. Okay, so we're going with Constitution here, so we want to test something other than Constitution. So we'll put athleticism, if I can spell, equals in or greater to bad. Be greater than or equal to, I guess. What else can we do? Charisma? Reasoning. Wit. Combining it with your something gender, stamina. Wit. Liveliness. How do I put this? Now we need to determine Changling's gender and whether they're masculine or feminine. Go. Okay, so we have ow. Okay. And then we're going to come back up here because I've already done the coding in this area for one of these sections where we change out depending on what department they work in. Okay, there we go. Okay. Okay. All right, now we've got to do the opposite. So what we do is we come down here. Because these are the sexualities that don't particularly enjoy sexy times or even want to think about it. So we're gonna acknowledge that. By focusing instead on go. And then we're going to education. So education is the stat that is the most sexy to the Emperor. Knowledge. Commanding it with your wit, knowledge. Skills and ideas. Wit, knowledge, skills, and ideas. You imagine a long talks between the two of you. Now, okay. Got 8 minutes before my break, and I've just kind of stalled here. And this happens sometimes. Part of any creative process is basically sitting there while your brain percolates on the ideas, and eventually it'll coalesce into an appropriate or proper use. Sometimes that can take months, sometimes that can take years. It really depends. So let me wonder. What are those around you? All. And here's where we can pull in scheming, which is my favorite stat. Greater than or equal to bad. Crawl. Title text. Title 2 text, or is it just title text? I think it's just title text. Oh. Majesty is at forefront of consideration for his people, if the rumors are anything to go by. But better way to get his attention than to enter to... Oop, and I did wrong. Okay, so again, here where it's got the genders, we're going to be forefront for consideration for his people. What better way to get his attention than to pander to his pet projects? Or if you are genuine instead of scheming, you want to do as much good in the world as possible. How better to do so than have the ear of the world's most powerful, again, Chengling, man, woman, person. Who knows? Perhaps will be endeared by your altruism. And we're gonna thought of being, and again, we're gonna base it off of scheming here. Lied upon by useful to idle. I don't know why it doesn't have title text in here. I don't know why. Why does it think that that's... Do I not have that as a... Okay, does it not exist? Okay, because if that doesn't exist, that means some of my coding is off, which means I need to come back in here, down here to... Oh, it's not title text, it's just the title. Also, this needs to not be capitalized. That's why. Okay. And I need to come back here and remove this because it's just title. It's not title text. So what I need to do is I need to find all references of this. And then I need to change all occurrences. Oh, nope, not that far. And just there. And that should fix that. Okay. Okay. And I'm gonna... Oh, that's not an @ symbol. That's supposed to be that symbol. Dang it. Keep typing the wrong one. Him is right. Okay, there we go. I just gotta make sure. Okay, so we've got about 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. That's a really. It's not a huge paragraph, but it's only huge because of this guy right here. So yeah, that should be fine. Again, we want to make sure that there's not really more than maybe 4 to 6 paragraphs per page that they see, because otherwise it gets really crowded. Oh, break time. Okay. Remember, always save your work. Control S is super easy to save things. And then you don't have to worry about it disappearing. Another thing I really recommend, I've put the programs that I use down in the descriptions of these videos, so that's a recent update. If you haven't seen it before, it exists now. It might be something you want to take a look at. Let me... So... At this point, I'm taking a 5-minute break here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get back to work afterwards, working on it for another 25 minutes, and then a 5-minute break, and then this video is going to be over. So for that last 5-minute break, I'm going to talk a little bit about something. I'm not sure what yet, but I'll figure it out. One thing to keep in mind when you're doing Choicescript games is that the goal is replayability. It's to give a different experience with each section, each choice you make or you provide. That way, the player will want to go back and play it over and over and over again. That is a weird ass face my character makes when I take a drink. And you know, I want to encourage you guys to ask questions and share information in the comments. You are more than welcome to post links to other works in progress. You are more than welcome to ask questions about your own work in progress. I can't guarantee I'll be able to answer them, but I'll at least try and point you in the right direction. My husband and I, we are working really hard to get this channel and our Twitch channel up to partner. And we could really use some engagement if anybody watching this wants to help. If not, you can always check out the if IF fiction or IF, what is it called? Hold on. Let me pull it up here. My mouse is freaking out. I have this little Bluetooth mouse that my husband got me, that Keldrick got me. It was really sweet. He got it for me. And sometimes it just goes on the fritz for no fucking reason whatsoever. Okay, so the board I was talking about is, I think it's, where'd it go? I just had it earlier today. Where is it? Oof. Oop. Do. Games. Okay. That didn't help me. Interactive fiction forum. Here we go. intfiction.org. It's the interactive fiction community forum. And basically, if you write choose your own adventure games, if you write choose your own adventure books, if you use Twine or Choicescript or literally any other engine to build interactive fiction games, intfiction.org is a really good place to go. They have a lot of really helpful bits about coding specifically, and also about how to write things. Authoring, playing, technical development, so on and so forth. There's even a section in Spanish. So if you're, looking for Spanish interaction, there you go. Speaking of Spanish interaction, I am super freaking proud. I am 22 days into a Duolingo streak for Spanish. I am learning. It's great. Okay, but I do need to use the restroom super quick. So I am going to pause here and I will be right back. Sorry about that. That's probably going to be a little jarring, actually. Now that I think about it, I should have paused the music on the way, too. That said, I now have some peaches and I'm feeling much better. Yay! Okay. Okay. Started the 25-minute Pomodoro timer. What the heck just happened? What is going on? Oh, the song changed on YouTube. Gotcha. All right. Well, that's fine. Okay, so back to work. We were doing... Okay, so now we get to write out a daydream where some jealous concubine poisons the main character and the main character survives because of the Constitution, because that's what they selected. Just realized. Okay, so we gotta put a space in between here. Like that. That way it doesn't crowd it too much when this new paragraph comes in. His title to text. Golden hairpins. So fine, it can be seen. Must be worn in a dozen layers to keep warm. Boots the likes of which you've never seen before. Because daydreaming happiness is boring. Sometimes you daydream at one of your sweet dishes. It's bitter. Poison. Imagine that some jealous concubine, eager to have title. Eyes off you and onto her. Poured some good death of some sort into your food. You imagine being ill, sickly, but always attractive. So, imagined what is the code for wife person yet? Husband. Oh, okay. I need another variable for this. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take PC spouse title. We're gonna leave that there. We're gonna go back to startup. Create. We're gonna put it under create Lynn spouse title. Create Jen spouse title. Create Ling. Go. Create thing. God dang it. I can never go easy on myself. I always make some mistake like that. And Kev. Go. Okay, that should be all of them. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come back over here into intro 1. And we're going to introduce it to the pronoun coding. So we're going to come in here. We're going to set Olin spouse title husband. Set Olin spouse title wife. At Olin house. I just thought of a way I could do it without doing all of these variables. I could just base it off of the gender, pull the gender, like Bolin gender, and then do a multi-replace at where first is husband, second is wife, third is spouse. And that would probably be faster and easier than all of what I just set up. So I'm gonna undo literally everything I just did, and this is part of the process. All right. Oh, nope, we're gonna keep that. We're gonna save that. And we're gonna go back over here to startup. And in here, we're going to remove all of those spouse titles I just created. So we don't need them. It would be super faster. Just use multi-replace. especially since honestly we can't, I don't have, well, I will have endings where you can marry a couple of the different ones other than Chengling, but Chengling is pretty much the only real spouse. Especially in a concubine route. So, Chengling, gender, husband, wife. Oh god, I hate that. Spouse. Comforts you during your feverish convalescence. Yeah, I love that word. Of course I don't spell it correctly there, but spell check is for losers. I'm joking. I'll spell check later. Oh. Now we might be getting into too many paragraphs here because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We are definitely getting into too many paragraphs. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in here, and instead of just this right here, we're going to page break. But in order to do that and make sure that everything goes well, we need to make sure that we don't have any set footnotes here, but we're going to copy and paste this just to be safe in a few places. We're going to page break there. And again, we don't have any set footnotes, so we don't need to put this anywhere at the moment. And because this is a fake choice, all of this is gonna put a line on the same page, and then it's gonna just slide right into whatever we put here. So we're not gonna interrupt that slide with a footnotes down here right now. Okay, so now we've got 1, 2, 3 paragraphs instead of 8. Imagine is fury scorching the inner was to find the culprit, bringing her to her knees before you. Daydream. And then we're just gonna copy this here. Gives you the right to decide her fate. And here again, we're gonna choose between scheming and genuine. Oh, or should it be bloodthirsty or honorable? Maybe give it a couple of different options based on how much each of them are. Like, for example, if scheming is high and bloodthirst is high, kill her. If scheming is high and bloodthirst low, cold palace with her. If scheming is low and bloodthirst high, so that would make you a genuine person, but you're angry. So a genuinely angry person would ask for punishment, but only within the bounds of the law, I think. And if scheming is low and bloodthirst low, ask for them to be, I want to say redeemed, maybe? Or should I make this an actual choice? Like, give them the choice of what they do with this opponent. And then, like, that in and of itself could affect these stats. Yeah, I like that better. Make it a choice. So we're gonna X this and we're gonna pop it on over here to test playground. And that is why I have this file, ladies and gentlemen. It's so that I can pop things over there and then pop them back without having to open like a notepad or whatever. Plus you guys can then see it. Anyway, so what we're gonna do, bake choice, and kill her, send her to the cold palace, for lawful punishment, or what is the term, amnesty, beg for mercy on her behalf. Okay, so this gives the player the choice of what they want to do with their enemies, and it also sets it up so that later on when they make this exact same choice, it's gonna be fucking choice. It's gonna be great. Oh, and we are at our hour, so stay tuned for next episode when I set up this choice here and go through the rest of the coding for this section. And then after that, I will be finishing up this business section here, at which point then I will be pausing and doing testing so that I can get this demo up this month, hopefully. Oh shit, no, it's not going to be this month. This month only has like 4 days left. Never mind. So yeah, all right. At this point, I will say thank you very much for joining me and see you in the next video. Little Jacksepticeye quote there for you. All right, bye-bye.